right, so far so good. Okay, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Rambling Men Sports Podcast. As always, it is James and myself. James, were you on last week? I don't even remember.
What'd you say?
Were you on last week?
No, the week before. Week before.
I'm pretty sure you were on last week, but regardless.
You might be right, though. My memory's terrible.
Yeah. So football season's over, but the only thing I have is football topics.
Football season's never over, Shane.
So to start things off, let's go ahead and start with Kareem Hunt. Pretty big news this week that he will sign with the Cleveland Browns. Bye, Peter.
Dude, I think it's perfect. Like, perfect. The Browns, because they just got, an A-plus type of player. And if there's one place where they're going to be like, dude, I don't even care what the hell you did, just come win me some football games. If there's one team in the NFL that's going to be cut that cloth, it's going to be the Browns. So I honestly don't think, they could have got any better with that. And I dare somebody to tell me a better 1-2 running back punch, better thunder and lightning punch than those two right now in Cleveland.
Hunt and Chubb. Yeah,
Thunder,
I don't know. I was a little surprised this happened because I was under the impression that Hunt was going to be out this year. Am I wrong?
I would have guaranteed that he was going to get signed.
You
Dude,
think?
Because I don't listen. He put his hands on a woman. That's never okay. He didn't beat the shit out of a woman. He did.
I haven't seen the video.
He did what he did. He pushed her with his foot. Does that make sense? He didn't kick her. He put his foot on her and she was on her knees kind of, and he pushed her dude, it wasn't it was some shit that you would do to your little brother. So it's wrong. He put his hands on a woman and obviously he's going to get suspended. He's not going to play all 16 games this year or anything, but
yeah, I've heard he's going to be out 12 games.
I agree. But I don't think he's should never be in the NFL again type player. I don't think he did a Greg Hardy or even a Tyreek Hill situation. It was you put your hands
My
on
friend
a woman,
Shannon is saying Ray Rice.
Jesus, Ray Rice. Yeah, dude, not even a hundredth of what Ray Rice did. You know what I mean? So
I haven't seen the video. I was a little surprised.
Dude, it's wrong because that sounded bad coming out of my mouth because I made it sound like it wasn't a big deal. It's a huge deal. What I meant is he can get another. I think he can learn that. I really do. Right.
But yeah, I was a little surprised just because I was under the impression he wasn't playing this year. I thought I heard people say he was indefinitely suspended for the year. Not sure if that's the case anymore. But I'm not really surprised he got picked up. I thought, honestly, this might be the nail in his coffin. I think I even said it a few weeks ago when he got cut. I thought he might not play ever again. But here he is, and I'm not really shocked. I'm shocked it's this soon.
Yeah, that I agree with. It was pretty fast. They could have, but I guess now if you get him in the building now, you can draft differently. You can approach your draft a little bit different. That's why all these teams try to get their rosters as soon as possible before the draft, and they try to get their free agency plans all set, figured out, so they can figure out what they're doing. So, I honestly, like I said, it's a messy situation, but I don't think there's a better one for either side than that. I think. Kareem Hunt can go play with a good quarterback. He can have a good running back behind him. Good wide receivers.
That's the other thing. Do you think he's going to start in Cleveland, you think?
Yes.
Nick Chubb. You're right, though. That's going to be a very good backfield. Mayfield, Chubb, and Hunt. That's going to be a very good backfield. Hopefully Freddie Kitchens pans out. Hopefully he knows what he's doing, but that could be really good.
I agree. I really like the signing, and my number 2 team next year is the Browns. Go Browns.
In the number 2 team that you're cheering for. I was like, is it too early to say that the Browns might win the AFC North next year?
Yeah, because they're not.
They're not. Okay.
Just
wanted to know.
It's going to be close though. I think they win 10 games next year. I just think Baltimore wins 11.
You think playoff berth though? Possibly.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I'm not really.
AFC,
what's up?
In the weak AFC, if they win 10 games. So yeah.
One more thing I wanted to touch up on is that when I first saw that it was Cleveland, I was a little surprised. And I'm like, wait a minute, John Dorsey, the general manager, comes from Kansas City, where he drafted Kareem Hunt. So I was like, wow, that makes a whole lot of sense then that he would sign him.
He probably knows Kareem Hunt is a good person deep down, and is like, listen, like, he fucked up, but I think I can, you know what I mean? I think. And
he has a history of second chances. He's the guy who drafted Tyreek Hill at Kansas City. He's got a history of giving dudes a second chance.
He has a history of picking good football players.
Yeah, that too.
Hey. You know, that's his job, isn't to pick players with good character, I guess, you know?
I mean, you would like to have that. But yeah,
Absolutely.
if they can play football, if they can play really good football, yeah, that's obviously goal number one. But yeah, future Browns fans, future's bright. That's all I got to say. Future's bright.
Hell yeah.
So what's up?
This is my bold prediction. I think Myles Garrett wins Defensive Player of the Year this year.
I'm honestly a little surprised he hasn't done better. I could be wrong. I haven't really looked at his numbers. I don't think he's picked up double-digit sacks yet, though.
No, he didn't, but the first season he had like 8 sacks in like 8
That's
games.
right. Let me look it up. I could be wrong.
He's a beast, dude, and
I know he's good.
One more defensive draft, they get a couple more.
No, I'm wrong. He had 13 and a half sacks this year. Okay.
Yeah.
More than I thought.
Yeah, and he's only, 23 years old? Like, he's a couple years from his prime, even. I think he's going to have 15, 16 sacks a year, maybe even more, and, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember when I would do franchises, before they drafted Baker Mayfield, I would do franchises on Madden with the Browns, because they never had a quarterback. I wanted to draft my guy, you know, and build. And Myles Garrett would always develop into, like, the best defensive player in the league. And
dude, he's insane.
Yeah, he every year he'd post like 19 to 20 sacks a year in Madden. So other news is Antonio Brown officially requests a trade from the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I don't know if he announced it on Twitter, but he posted it on Twitter. Like, hey, Pittsburgh, it's time for a change. I was like, are you really tweeting this?
He's a very immature guy. I mean, he's very, very, very immature. I always get people trying to get, you know, the most money, trying to get the respect. But some people, football is a sport where you need to understand your role because you have a role on the team. And, like, dude, just because you put up it's been proven that wide receiver numbers don't necessarily contribute to win.
No.
There's not a correlation between you having a 100-yard receiving game and them winning games. So it's like, dude, I heard it straight out of Ryan Clark's mouth, who was a teammate with him for 4 or 5 years. He said, Antonio Brown, if he gets 120 yards and 2 touchdowns, he doesn't give a shit if you lose by 40 points. He doesn't care.
I'm not shocked to hear that at all.
Would I take him on my team because he's, you know, probably a top 10 receiver of all time? Absolutely. I mean, the dude is absurdly productive. Like, it's exactly what the Eagles need and all that shit. But it's like, dude, if you're a team, I'm
not paying him $20 million, and that's what he's slated to make.
No, his contract right now is 13 and a half a year for the next 3 years.
I thought I read he's owed $21 million.
13. I just heard it this morning on the podcast.
Okay.
13 and a half million a year, which they said it's a bargain. OBJ, equal players getting 20.
Seems wrong, but all right. I'll take your word for it. But yeah, no, I'm glad you mentioned there's not a correlation between having a good receiver and winning games. And I'm so glad you brought that up because I can remember Colin Cowherd putting up a list of like the highest paid wide receivers, I think the top 10, at least 9 of the 10, maybe all of them didn't make the playoffs.
Listen, you know I have a love-hate relationship with Cowherd, but
no, I've quit listening to his stuff, honestly.
That's one thing that he hits the nail on the head with. He's like, listen, dude, receivers and running backs are icing on the cake. They're not the cake. Like, you can win.
I'd take a running back before a receiver.
Agreed. 100% of the time. 100% of the time.
Wide receivers are divas. They want to get paid, but almost all of them don't realize the quarterback is what makes them.
You know, that's what I try, because artists always argued with me that Le'Veon Bell was worth, you know, $20 million a year or whatever, and I sit there and I go, dude, like, or he argued with me with I didn't mean to say Le'Veon Bell, I meant to say OBJ. OBJ is literally one of my favorite players in the whole league, and he's a giant. Like, I love OBJ. I think he's the best receiver in the whole league. Dude, like, at max, he's going to touch the ball, 6-7 times a game? You're going to pay
maybe in like an outlier game, he touches it 12 times.
Yeah, yeah, like that's a great game. 12 touches. That's a low running back touchdown.
Right.
Like it's just not there. You're not touching the ball enough for you to be worth $20 million. Like you're literally getting like hundreds of thousands of dollars per touch. Like no, dude. That's just no.
But even though you didn't mean to say his name, but Le'Veon Bell, you mentioned how he wants $20 million. I think I'm pretty sure I read where some of the top rushers in the league this year were rookies.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, it's always rookies are like the top rushers in the league. I was like, and y'all wonder why teams don't want to pay Le'Veon Bell $20 million.
Dude, I wouldn't pay any running back.
No.
I wouldn't. Dude, I'd franchise him a couple times like the Steelers did. Because it's like, dude, I wouldn't get rid of Le'Veon Bell.
No, I might give him $10 million.
But it's like, yeah, dude, it's too much. Like, it's Saquon Barkley's going to be, when he gets his paycheck, that boy's going to be
Saquon Barkley, I don't want to say he's better than Le'Veon. I don't think he is.
He is
but
better than Le'Veon.
You think?
Yeah.
He's more complete, I think, than Le'Veon. I don't think Le'Veon
He's a bigger Le'Veon. He can do everything Le'Veon can do, except he's 30 pounds heavier and faster.
I think he's better at catching the ball than Le'Veon is. He's not a better runner, but he's just better all around, I think, than Le'Veon Bell.
I would just take him on my team, but I mean, just from character concerns alone.
Oh yeah, you're 100% right on that. I would pay Saquon Barkley that money just because of that.
Exactly. He's an awesome dude. He's a great kid. He works hard. He wants to win. Like, that's the type of running back I want on my team.
Oh yeah, I love Saquon. Like, I would debate getting a Saquon Barkley jersey.
Nah, dude. If it was having an Odell Beckham jersey right now, if I wasn't an Eagles fan, I like Saquon and Odell a whole lot.
But we're kind of getting off topic. Back to Antonio Brown. How does this affect the Steelers?
Not going to be as good.
You don't think? I don't see much of a drop off. I really don't.
You're insane. Why?
We just said wide receivers don't translate into wins.
Oh, you mean a drop off in win?
Right, in wins. Maybe offensively they'll take a bit of a step back.
Yeah, I don't see it because Juju had such a great year last year because of Antonio. Now that he's going in, Juju will still have a great season, but he's not going to have an.
Juju is. He's not better than Antonio Brown, but he's pretty damn good.
That was a situation. A situation I'd compare that to is when Alshon Jeffrey and Brandon Marshall were together, and Alshon Jeffrey was getting 1,500 yards 2 seasons in a row because he had Brandon Marshall on the other side, and nobody's paying attention to him. I think it's more of that than anything. With that being said, Juju Smith is still a 1,000-yard, 10-touchdown receiver. Like, I'm not discrediting him. He's just not Antonio, and I don't know. He got a lot of pressure taken off of him because of other players on that team, especially when James Conner. A lot of his yards came early when James Conner was getting a lot of his yards too. So it was just they didn't know who to.
That's true.
Defend on that team, those 3 players. So, I mean, they're probably going to win 9 games again.
Yeah, 9 wins. I mean, I think that's automatic. Playing in the AFC with Ben Roethlisberger, they got some guys defensively. They got enough playmakers on offense. 9 wins should be what you can fart out, not necessarily what you're gonna get.
They only got this year though with Antonio.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it might help them honestly. I mean,
let me clarify.
Shed some of the fat in that locker room and get rid of your cancer, which is Antonio. It's amazing what'll happen.
It's tough though, dude, because Antonio was a cancer in the locker room, but he's not the only one. Ben Roethlisberger is just as big a cancer, in my opinion. He's a fucking asshole. He don't care about anybody but himself. I don't like Big Ben at all. Don't like him.
I don't have a huge issue with him, but I'm with you though. Where do you think he ends up?
Le'Veon?
No, not Le'Veon. We'll get him. We'll get into him in a few weeks.
I think he goes to San Fran.
Shit. Storage is almost full. Damn it. Let's hope we can get this done. You think San Fran? I think so too. They got a ton of cap space.
Maybe the Jets.
I think they're more likely to get Le'Veon.
Not even kidding.
Yeah. I see them trying to make a run for Le'Veon. If they don't get him, probably then, Antonio Brown. Okay. One more. Joe Flacco traded to the Denver Broncos. And get this, I saw their Super Bowl odds went from 100 to 1 without Flacco. Trade for Flacco, 125-1. They went backwards, according to Vegas.
First of all, that's not right because Flacco is at least as good as Keenum. So let's get that out of the way. John Elway's clueless, Shane.
Oh, I know.
That man's like the fact that you could be an.
I don't want to say he lucked out as a GM, but he clearly. I don't want to say doesn't have respect for quarterbacks. He doesn't know how to draft one, and he's just giving up, and he's trying to get.
He can't scout him, dude. Dude, I'm gonna tell you right now. If you give me my choice between Foles or Flacco, I'm taking Foles, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see their reasoning for picking Flacco over Foles?
No.
Flacco plays under center more. That was the reasoning. And I'm just like, dude, I would have got Tannehill over him. Tannehill's way better than Flacco. Yeah.
No, I'm not sure about that. I used to pound the table for Ryan Tannehill. I don't anymore.
Dude, he's like 13 and 2 in his last 14 starts.
Tannehill?
Yes. Go look at his last. I know that towards the end of last year, in his last 12 starts, he was 11-1.
I mean, he's better. I think I still will say he's better than people think, but he's slightly worse than Alex Smith.
I don't know. I didn't like. I get it for the Broncos. Like I said, I do think that there may be another game. Like they might have got a game there. Like maybe win an extra game with Flacco over Keenum. But
I don't really, like you said, I'm not sure it's enough of an upgrade. Like you said, maybe a game, and I don't even remember what their record was.
Maybe. I think they were 6-10.
6-10. You get to 7-9. It doesn't make a ton of sense. Do you think they still take a quarterback? I would imagine so.
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah.
They're definitely taking a quarterback.
I would imagine so, but
now, do I think they might not take one round one and they might get like a Will Grier second round or something? But like I don't know, they might take one first. Who knows?
If they're smart, they would. I mean,
yeah, agreed. Because they don't have a lot of holes. You know, Denver could fix their O-line. They have a pretty bad O-line.
Yeah, but that's usually something that takes years. You can't just fix that in one offseason. Usually.
Unless you're the Colts.
Yeah, unless you're the Colts. They had two good players on that offensive line already. And then, I don't want to say they lucked out, but they got a really good player in Quentin Nelson, and then turns out Braden Smith's actually really good too. So, not going to say they lucked out, but yeah. Usually it's not done that way, though. You have frozen on me. There you go. Okay. But, yeah, I just... Did it ever reveal what the Ravens got in return?
No, they say because it can't go through till like March 31st.
That's right. I think I read mid-round, so probably fourth or fifth.
Like fourth, yeah, I'd say like a fourth rounder.
Yeah, and I don't think this makes the Broncos much better. I really don't.
It doesn't. And what are they going to just cut Keenum? I guess.
I looked. They're looking to trade him. Someone's going to take him.
Yeah,
I like it. I don't know his contract situation, but if Green Bay was like, "Hey, we'll give you a fifth for him," I'd be fine with it. I'd love to have Keenum as my backup.
He's a great backup. He can come in and win. You know, he can come in and go above 500 for you if you need it.
Yeah, I agree completely. I mean, he took Minnesota to 13-3 a few years ago. But yeah, this doesn't do anything for the Broncos. They're still the third worst team in that division, possibly the worst depending on how the Raiders do this offseason.
Barely moved the needle. I agree.
They didn't make up any ground hardly with the Chargers, and definitely not with the Chiefs. Honestly, I don't think they made up ground on either of them.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, so doesn't make a ton of sense, or it makes sense, but no, it really doesn't to me. It really doesn't. No, it doesn't, because he's arguably just as good as Keenum, and he costs more money.
I guess their argument would be so. I think the Broncos' idea here is going to be like, we're going to go back and play defense and run the ball. We're going to get back to that. The old Broncos.
That is how they won a Super Bowl.
And I think they're thinking we need a play-action quarterback that can throw that fucking ball 60 yards down.
That's fair. That's fair.
Keenum. That is not Keenum. That's the only thing I can like. The rationale I can say is that Flacco has a bigger arm, which is better for your play action and just playing off the run game in general.
And with a healthy Phillip Lindsay, you're right. I do like that. NFL draft news. Roughly projected to be a top 15 pick. Jonathan Simmons, I think is his name. I forgot to check. Tears his ACL in a workout. James, I don't know about you. This is why I think sitting out of ball games is kind of ridiculous. I understand it makes a ton of sense, but you can get hurt at any time. It doesn't necessarily happen in a ball game. This dude, I don't know if he skipped the ball game or not, but he got hurt, tore his ACL in a workout. I mean, this is why I think it's kind of ridiculous. I don't know about you.
I disagree. I mean, dude, they're getting their fucking heads knocked off for free, dude. Like when you're
no, I'm not saying they're not wrong. I'm not saying they're wrong to do it. Just I think it's a little overblown.
I agree. So, but you look at Simmons, for example. First of all, I want Philly to get him. He's Fletcher Coxman. They're the exact same size. They play the exact same position at the exact same school. I would love to get him. But both 6'4", 310, D tackle, Mississippi State. But dude, like he's literally gonna make so much less money now. Like he went from a top 20 pick to fourth.
He won't be a first round pick.
He won't be a second or third round pick.
No, he will.
Maybe not. Sidney Jones was still a second when he tore his
Yeah.
Achilles, but you know what I mean? Like he lost that 5th year option. Like
he could still make it back for the opener. Yeah, possibly.
I don't think they do.
No, I don't either.
I think they'd redshirt him if whoever drafts him will redshirt him.
I agree.
Or maybe bring him in like after a bye, like week 9 or something. You know what I mean?
I could see that, but like, it's just more, sit out, man. Don't risk it. I remember seeing. I meant to bitch about this, but I saw something a few weeks ago with Trevor Lawrence, and they were like, if I'm Trevor Lawrence, I'm sitting out the next 3 years, and I was like, when is this gonna stop? Why even bother playing until he gets to the NFL?
That is ridiculous because it's like, okay, I get it. Trevor Lawrence is going to be probably the best quarterback prospect of all time. Like,
yeah, probably better than Andrew Luck.
And all that, but it's like, dude, you still need to get better at football. Like, you're 19, dude. You're not a fucking football quarterback right now. And football is the only sport where you can't really practice football, dude. Like, it sounds weird, and people, like, you can run drills and you can kind of run 11-1-11, but you can't, like, play football at practice or your whole fucking team will be on IR.
Oh, I agree. No, I think I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. You can't practice what happens in a game, really.
Yeah, he needs game reps. You can't just be like, oh, I've been practicing football for the past 3 years.
I've been going out there with gym shorts, and throwing routes. That's not it.
No, you need game speed. You need to be getting hit, first of all. Like, dude, not getting hit for 3 years and then getting hit, like, you might not want to play anymore.
But yeah, I saw that, and I almost think it was a joke.
No, because I do get the rationale. He would be, if he did that, he'd still be the number 1 pick when he's eligible. You know that.
Oh, yeah, I think so too.
But it's like, dude, you're not, like, I get it. You are really good because you're 19 and you're 6'6".
Yeah, someone would take, like, it'll be this huge thing if he did that. Like, this huge thing, oh, he hasn't played in 3 years or 2 years. But someone will be like, you know what? No, I'm still going to take him number 1.
Quarterback is the only position I'd say you can't do that. Yeah. Like Leonard Fournette, remember Leonard Fournette pretty much sat out a whole year? I'm like, dude, you're a running back. Like, do it. Like, you're going to wear out yourself if you don't. Like, D linemen that are number 1 overall, like Myles Garrett was, like, he sat out a lot of his last season too. Dude, I don't blame you. Like, quarterback, like, you need as much reps as you can get. Like, play as long as you can.
But no, yeah, we're getting off topic. That's another argument. I know it's not your fault. But, yeah, this is just more of the, like, it can happen where my argument, it can happen at any time. I'm not saying, I don't disagree with you sitting out a ball game or anything like that, but I think you're looking too much into it. It can happen at any point.
And I also, dude, listen, if it's a New Year's 6 bowl, I'll play. I'm not playing in the fucking
No, yeah, I'm fine with that.
Dude, that shit hurts. You play football. Like, football hurts, dude. You hurt the next day. And I only played in high school. Like, I can only imagine getting hit by a defensive tackle at 300 pounds. Like, dude, I'm not playing in the fucking poinsettia bowl.
Yeah, no, that I'm fine with. Like, when Will Greer wanted to play, and I was like, no, just.
If I'm not going to the NFL, dude, I'm playing in every fucking football game I can play in. I don't care what it is, but it's like, dude, if I'm an NFL player, I'm not risking that shit. Fuck that.
Yeah, I don't blame you. So moving on here. We have more football. Or, no, do you want to do top 5 players on the draft? I just threw that in there.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Off the top of my head. Bosa.
Yeah.
Williams, the D tackle from Bama.
Yeah. That's really about it. There's a drop-off.
There is a huge drop-off. Josh Allen. 3.
Yeah. Different Josh Allen.
Yes, different Josh Allen. Honestly, dude, it might be all defensive linemen.
No, this is a very defensive-heavy draft again.
I'm trying to think. Greedy Williams, I think, is like the best corner in the draft by a mile.
He's not that big. He's tall. He's just not that big.
He's 175.
Yeah.
He's like 6'2", 175.
Yeah, I think he's gonna fall.
But yeah, dude. That's actually a good question because it's one of those drafts where like the end of round 1 all the way through round 4 is like the sweet spot. It's not that top heavy. It's really not.
No. There's 2 elite prospects. I mean, last year there were about 6 elite prospects. This year there's 2, and then there's 3 to 5 really good players, and then the rest is.
Fuck you.
Okay, no, the reason why I'm laughing because you cut out, and the next thing I hear is "fuck you."
Dude's a fucking dickhead. We're supposed to merge, and he's just like riding next to me. It's like, dude, fall in line. Like we have to merge here. Sorry, go ahead.
But no, anyway, so yeah, there's 2 elite prospects here, Bosa and Williams, and then there's maybe 3 to 5 good players who are going to be solid at the NFL level, and then there's it's kind of like if you need depth, this is the draft for it.
I was gonna say it's a starter draft class, not a like a superstar draft class.
Yeah.
It's like you can get a lot like solid 7 or 4-star players.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, my top 5: Bosa, Williams, Josh Allen. I mean, I think that's the unanimous top 3.
I was gonna say after that.
I'll tell you what. I'll go Rashawn Gary at 4, Ed Oliver at 5.
I've seen Ed Oliver falling a lot. I don't know why.
I think because he's coming in a little bit weight-wise. He's a little lighter than people thought. I think I read he's like maybe 270.
Dude, I'm getting so. Dude, arguably in every position in the NFL, undersized players are the best. Like, I get it. You don't want to draft but like.
He's got some other issues. I mean, I think that people got turned off with it in Houston, but.
Much, man.
Yeah.
It makes me so mad. Aaron Donald's the best D tackle. Earl Thomas is one of the best safeties.
And he fell because he's 6'1". That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Mike Daniels is 6'1".
John Gruden quote. We're talking about this much. Dude, that does not make you a better football player. It does not. Yeah. This much might. But dude, you can't tell the difference on a football field with a helmet and pads on.
People go crazy for a 6'3" D tackle, but 6'1". No, we can't take him.
Yeah,
it's
that's
that
dude,
much.
It's
that much. How long are your arms? How long are your arms? That's what matters.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be my top 5. Ed Oliver is sliding. I get that, but at the end of the day, look at his film. Look at his film. The dude can play. More football news because, like I said, I don't have anything else.
All football, baby.
All football. Did you watch any of the AAF? I texted you if you were going to.
I'm going to tell you, I really wanted to, and I was just, out and about when it was on. I saw some of the highlights. I heard that it's, because I was listening to Pardon My Take, and Big Cat pretty much called it, it's prohibition football. We're only watching it because NFL football isn't here, and if it was during football season,
we wouldn't watch it if it was during football season. He
said basically it's really good, but the quarterback play is terrible, which is
I didn't really watch it. I mean, I had it on. I didn't pay a ton of attention to the quarterback play, but I was listening to the Birmingham game pretty much, and it sounded like Christian Hackenberg, the quarterback from Memphis, was atrocious.
Dude, it's crazy, dude. There's literally only 20 good professional quarterbacks on the planet. Literally.
Yeah, and people wonder why you take a quarterback in the first round. This is it.
Dude, they can't find them. Dude, there's literally 20 fucking good quarterbacks out of 7 billion people on this fucking earth. You can't find them, dude.
You're not going to find them outside of round 1 in the NFL draft. Very rare do you find a really good quarterback outside of round 1. I wish people would grasp that. I'm looking at you, to my friend William Snoddy. who is pounding the table. He pounded the table last year for, what's his name? The dude from Oklahoma State, Mason Rudolph. He was like, why take so-and-so in the first round when you can get Rudolph in the third? And I was like, because Rudolph's probably not going to pan out. And then this year, he's pounding the table for Will Grier, which I don't know. Maybe Will Grier will pan out. But he's like, why would you take Haskins? You can get Will Grier in the second. I'm like, this isn't like every other position. You can't do it that way.
Haskins is better than Will Grier, dude.
I agree completely. He's got the better arm. He's bigger. I love Will. Yeah. I love Will with all my heart.
I love Will, and I think Will's ceiling can be pretty damn high.
Yes.
I also think he has a really low floor, too.
Yes.
That's the way I look at Will Grier. I think he can literally, like, either wash out of the league, but I think he could be, you know, at his ceiling, I think he's – I already told you what his ceiling was, and you kind of laughed at me.
Did I?
Yeah, Rodgers.
Oh, that's his ceiling?
Same size. They play the exact
No, I agree. I mean, they have similar –
exact same playing style.
Yeah, they're somewhat similar. They like to get out of the pocket. They have similar size. I mean, that's not ridiculous. They don't have the strongest arm, except Rodgers has a better arm. But they're both pretty accurate. Yeah, I get it.
I mean, maybe like God level ceiling would be Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
Aaron Rodgers or Will Grier at the best he could be would be a Rodgers-esque player.
Yeah.
Just based on the way they play.
I agree with that. I mean, I think if he stepped in the league tomorrow, he'd probably be Flacco. Maybe not as good.
I think he's Baker.
You think?
Yeah, I really do. I think they're both very similar players. They're not overly athletic, but they can move. They both have good, not great arms, but they're both deadly accurate.
They are. I think Mayfield has a slightly better arm. I heard.
I do. He has a stronger arm.
I was listening to Matt Miller, and I respect Matt Miller, but this was during the Senior Bowl week, and they were talking about names that could really fall in the draft. He said Will Grier because he was like, I think Baker Mayfield's bigger than him. I was like, based off what? He said, I think he's 6 foot and maybe some change. I said, no, he's easily. I was like, Baker Mayfield was 6'1". I was like, I've watched Grier. I watched Mayfield. Grier's bigger. And sure enough, he was.
Oh, he's definitely. Yeah, that'll. The combine's in like a week?
Yes, not in a week. It's a while, but a month maybe. No, not a month. Not a month. Few weeks.
A couple weeks.
Yeah, I think it's in March this year. It's usually at the end of February.
I'm worried about fucking Kyler Murray's measurables. I just want to see what his height is.
I'm so curious about him, and I'll be honest, I really like him.
So do I. Artists say down in Texas, people say he's 5'7".
No, I think he's bigger than that. I mean, they're saying he's 5'10", 5'11", I think.
He's not 5'11".
Yeah, I take 2 inches off. I think he's 5'9".
Go watch his film and you can tell he's not 5'11". He's not taller than me. That man is not taller than me.
Yeah, no, I even think that. But no. Anyway, so back to.
I really like him too. I think he could be Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I agree. But back to the American football or Alliance of American Football. It's kind of interesting. I mean, I was cheering for Birmingham. They got a big win. But so for those that don't know, there are 8 teams split into 2 conferences. In the East, it's Atlanta, Birmingham, Memphis, and Orlando. And in the West, it's Arizona, Salt Lake, San Antonio, and San Diego. One thing I do really like that they did is they regionalized it. So, like, for Birmingham, there's a lot of former Alabama and Auburn players. For the Orlando team, you know, there's a lot of former Florida State, Florida, Central Florida, you know, players like that. I do like how they did that. But, yeah, it's like Big Cat says, I mean, it's prohibition football. I'm only watching it because it's in the spring and it's a few months from, you know, the draft. And it gives me something to do until West Virginia's spring practice.
They do have some cool rules, though. I do like some.
Yeah. Like going for 2, like I'm like, yeah, fuck it, that's awesome. The Rush 5, I mean, isn't great, but I'm fine with it. I mean, these guys get hurt and they're still trying to make it to the NFL.
It's
don't want to get
that it's,
hurt.
like, experimental, so they can like throw some random rules out there and kind of test them out. You know what I mean?
I think they got rid of kickoffs too, which fine. I don't really care. I don't care at that level. I care at the NFL because I still feel like kickoffs, even though they're almost 99% touchbacks, you can still change the game with a kickoff return.
Absolutely. It's a momentum changer.
Yeah, so I still would like to keep it. I know it's high injury risk, but you can. That's still a momentum changer.
My favorite about that league is the names.
Yeah, they got some, and not just that. Like a lot of their names, I think all of their names are. What's the word? Specific to the area. Like they make sense, Like the Memphis Express has to do with FedEx. Birmingham Iron has to do with the steel workers down there. Orlando Apollos has to do with NASA, Cape Canaveral. They all kind of make sense.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
Cool.
San Antonio Commanders has to do with the Alamo, stuff like that. Salt Lake might be the only one where the Stallions, did they just want alliteration?
I love alliteration.
Yeah, I do too.
I really do.
Who was it? It was someone at Barstool, I think it was Feidelberg, said, "Why do we love alliteration so much? It's just two words that start the same way, and we love it."
Dude, I literally do. I hate Feidelberg. He's my least favorite person.
He's annoying sometimes.
Dude, so annoying. Like,
But
dude,
yeah,
shut up.
AAF, I think this has a chance.
Yeah, I agree. And we'll see how it compares. They have like 3 other football leagues coming out like next year. So what's going to happen is one of those is going to survive, and that's going to be like the D-League.
Yeah.
NFL. It's going to be that.
The XFL sounds like it has the money. Who knows if it'll work? I think they're honestly taking it seriously. We talked about it a little bit last year when they named Oliver Luck the commissioner.
Oh, for sure.
I think they're kind of taking it seriously, and they're trying not to make it, WWE like it was in the early 2000s.
That's what I want to see. I want to see football, baby.
Yeah, so...
Did you ever play Blitz the League?
Do what?
Do you remember the game Blitz the League?
Yeah, kind of, yeah. Is that when, there were no penalties?
Dude, you could do steroids and shit.
I vaguely remember it.
Dude, it was the best game. It had, Lawrence Taylor, Bill Romanowski was in it.
Yeah.
It was so sick.
You just went around hitting people?
Yeah. Do you remember High Heat baseball?
No.
Basically, all these games were like WWE versions of the sport. Like in High Heat or what was it called? Slugfest. That's what it was called. Baseball. You could literally punch a player running past first base.
Oh, now that's cool.
Yeah. Dude, they were so awesome. They were so sick. Do you remember NFL Street?
Yes, that was fun.
Dude, the best.
Yeah, we played the shit out of that.
And Devin Hester on freaking NFL Street was the best. I had that shit on PS.
It was kind of like 7-on-7, but it wasn't. It was very fun.
It was, but you could do tricks. It was like Mario Kart mixed with fucking football. It was sick. It was so good.
That's the way backyard football should be played. Not necessarily 7-on-7. Have some linemen, make them work. That's the way it should be played, in my opinion.
Agreed.
But yeah, I don't have anything else other than that's pretty much it.
You don't have a final thought?
Nah, I kind of do. Neil Brown finished up his coaching staff. I don't know if you've been paying attention, James. I kind of like the staff.
Know that.
I like the staff. It's not like it was a home run hire every time, but there were a lot of them where, okay, I like that. He brought back 2 WVU alumni. So, I like it.
I love Neil Brown.
He's off to a great start. I was talking to a guy. I don't think he's had a misstep.
Yeah, he hasn't said anything wrong yet. That's for sure. Now,
he's done everything right so far.
We'll see how the team performs out there, but yeah, I like it so far. You got the OU transfer too. I'm excited to see.
He's in my class.
Oh yeah, you told me that.
He sat next to me today.
That's sick.
I haven't talked to him yet. He doesn't say much, but I haven't talked to him yet.
He's new.
He's new. Yeah. I don't just want to go up to him and be like, so you're the new quarterback. I don't want to say that. Someone did, and I'm like, come on, man. Come on.
QB1, baby.
Yeah, someone went up to him the other day in our class and was like, so you're the quarterback transfer. He was like, yeah. I was like, come on, man. You can't do that right out of the gate.
Yeah, don't do that.
All right, well, I don't have anything. You got anything? You got something?
Awesome. We're going to stray away from football here into basketball.
Oh, God. I can't stand basketball anymore.
Fuck LeBron James, dude.
I've never been more proud to call you my friend than now.
Bro. And I used to go back like 6 years, and I used to like really, really like LeBron.
You look like you had a LeBron jersey, like a blue Cavs jersey.
No, I did. I did. But I used to really like LeBron. Back when he was on the Cavs, even when he was on the Heat, I really dug LeBron. Like, I didn't give him as much heat as everyone else did for that. Dude, I've never seen a human being be more annoying and self-centered and fucking egotistical than that man is
I'm
right now.
so glad people are finally realizing this about LeBron.
I don't think people understand, and somebody the other day told me this didn't make sense, and tell me if this makes sense. He wants to win championships for himself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, he basically wants to go somewhere, and he wants that entire franchise to contribute to worry about his legacy. What can you guys do for me?
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you why I'm so pissed at LeBron, because I don't care about ring chasers. That's society's problem for making everything about rings. Go chase your rings. I want to know why you could have went anywhere you wanted. You could have went to the Sixers that had a way better roster. You could have went to the Rockets that had a way better roster. You could have went to the Celtics that had a way better roster. But you picked the worst roster that you could have went to, and then you waltz in that motherfucker and go, all you guys, gone. Coach, gone. Magic.
Did Bill Walton get fired this week?
He's about to.
About to? Okay.
And I sit there and I'm just like, dude, why did you pick the worst roster and then go in there and you're about to ship off 4 20-year-olds so you can get one player so you can chase Mike. It's like everybody has to help LeBron chase Mike. Like, that is the name of the game.
Yeah.
If you play with LeBron, you need to help me pass Mike Jordan, and I fucking hate him for it now. And I'm going to tell you, the last straw for me with LeBron was when he walked in that fucking arena with a glass of wine in his hand. I've never seen a more attention-seeking, bitch-made thing. Shame.
I'm drinking wine, though.
Everybody to talk about it, because he just loves attention. He
absolutely does.
He loves when he that night, so he goes, I'm going to walk into work with the wine. Fuck you, dude. Like, you are a 15-year-old girl, and I don't like him. He's not as good at basketball as he used to be, and it's like, you know what, dude? I don't even think you're the best player in the world anymore, to be honest with you. I don't. I think you're 34. I think you're still a top 3 player ever, and you still might be the best player, but dude, you cannot. Dude,
who's better?
You're 3 and 6. I can give you a few players who are arguably better.
You
KD,
think?
Steph, Harden, and no, not necessarily, but I could give you the argument for sure.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. Arguably, like, anybody who was like, yeah, LeBron's still the best player in the world, I'm not going to sit there and argue with you because I probably agree.
Yeah, that's the way I am with Tom Brady.
Dude, I'm sick of, like, this is the last thing I'm going to say about it, but, like, dude, you're 3 and 6 in the finals. You're not the golden G. Like, not everyone has to listen to you, dude. You know what happens when you let smart people make smart decisions? You get the Warriors.
Yeah.
You get the Warriors. Like, you saw what he did last year at the trade deadline with the Cavs. Get everyone out of here. Get me some young players from LA, and then they came in, and the team was even worse. Like, you're not a GM.
The biggest thing that bothers me with him, James, and people defend it, but he goes, like you said, he goes to these places, he demands everything, to where the team is trading away every single asset it has, promising players, to draft picks, everything, money, and then all of a sudden, if you don't win a championship one time or whenever, he's gone. Then he leaves the team with no promising players, no draft picks, and they're stuck in this limbo where they can't do anything for 5 years.
And it's never his fault. Somehow he's always on not that good of a team, which is bullshit. You pick your teams, dude. You literally pick who you want your coach and teammates to be every year. Like, it's like LeBron thinks that, like, he's above the NBA, and, like, I don't care if I tamper. Like, I'm going to say what I want. I'm going to walk into work with wine. Like,
I think I already read they're investigating someone for tampering.
Dude, it's bullshit. Dude, I'm done with that, man.
I can't stand the NBA anymore. I really can't.
I wanted to, dude, me neither, because you know what happened the other day? They're like, yeah, Ben Simmons and Magic. Dude, everyone's too friendly. There's no competition in that fucking league, dude. None. And I love basketball. Like, I want that to be a league that I want to watch, but it's like, you're not going to sit there and tell me a league where you know who's going to win the championship is entertaining. It's not.
No, I agree completely. I found a new love for hockey. I've never thought I would ever say this. I love baseball now more than I do basketball.
At least you don't know who's going to win. You don't even know who's going to make the playoffs in basketball.
Yeah.
You can pick 14 out of 16 NBA playoff teams every year at least.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. There's zero parity in the NBA.
Zero parity. Like, dude, I'm just done with it. I'm so done with it, and it's like it's just gonna keep happening, and it's LeBron's fault. LeBron created this environment where.
Hold on. Did he though? Technically, the Boston Celtics did.
No, they did. Not the same. Ray Allen, KG was the best player on that team. He wasn't the best player in the world.
You're right.
None of those players were the best player in the world. You don't get to sit there and say, you're the GOAT, you're the GOAT, you're the GOAT, and then you need 3 fucking all-stars on your team to win a championship. You're not the GOAT. I don't give a fuck. You're not, dude. And you know what? The Warriors are good. And you know what? I don't blame you for not being able to beat the KD Warriors, but you had chances before. The Cavs with Kyrie and K-Love and the Warriors before they had, I would say the Cavs had a better team then.
Well, I mean, the Warriors kind of came out of nowhere, to be fair. I mean, they were good, but I remember when they fired Mark Jackson, I was like, he took you to the playoffs. You really think you're going to do better without him? And they have. I mean, I think they kind of lucked out, but...
Yeah, I mean, they've just drafted ridiculously well.
Yes.
I mean, they had chip roster without any free agents, so it's like...
And that's why I've never understood the hate with the Warriors. Like, everyone thinks that they bought this team. They haven't. They built it. They bought Kevin Durant. So what? They drafted well, and they got these dudes to fair contracts, and they had the money to go get them. Like, because that's so wrong.
Dude, I said the same thing. I was just like, dude, people were saying that before they got KD.
Yeah.
That the team was too stacked and shit. Like, dude, they drafted the whole team. Draft better.
I don't know about
Like, dude, none of those players were even like number 1 overall players. Draymond was a 2nd rounder. Clay was like 15th, and Steph was like 8th.
Yeah.
Like, dude.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's not even like they were top 5 picks.
No, exactly. Dude, I wanted to really get that off my chest about LeBron. The fact that man picked the Lakers and is like, okay, now we need to scrap the whole team. It's like, dude, pick a better team.
That is what he does, man. That's what he does. He goes to a team, he strips it of all assets. Once he can't win, he's gone. The team's left in a limbo for 5 years.
Yeah, and that's just, dude. And that's why he ended up leaving the Heat, because, dude, he's bitching Magic Johnson right now. And Pat Riley was like, nah, bro, this is my team. Like, you can go play basketball if you want. If not, you can go. Straight up.
And the Heat have kind of been in a limbo ever since.
Yep, Stephen A. and Colin Cowherd both talk about it all the time. They were like, dude, why do you think Miami was such a short stint? You think he didn't want to stay in Miami? Like, they're going to the championship every year, and it's Miami. But he was like, no state income tax. But he was like, dude, Pat Riley wasn't letting him be boss man LeBron walking around like I fucking call the shots. Because he should.
And that's the other thing. I'm running low on battery here, but that's the other thing that bothers me with his time with the Cavs is he made all the decisions with the Cavs.
Yeah.
And he acted like it wasn't his fault.
They weren't good ones. Like, you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Stop trying to play GM, dude. You're not a good GM. You build all your teams and you lose every fucking year. Like, dude, I'm done. Get me off here before I start cussing.
Yeah, I'm out of here. Take care. Right. We'll be in touch next week.
Bro. Later, bro.
Later.